Hey guys, Kayak Fishing Carl. I haven't done a video for a while. Well, because winter, for one. Um, yeah, I'm gonna just leave that right there. So this is the year of COVID. So you guys might know that Hobie shut down for a bit. So this is my 2016 Outback, and I damaged this on a big trip this year. So I actually cracked the hull. I cracked it inside here where that black insert goes through. The rotomolded hull is cracked, and it's cracked on the inside and it meets with the bottom, so my hull filled up with water. I was on a big camping kayaking trip of about 112 kilometers overall, I think, with I think about 10 portages, and I cracked the hull using the Hobie scupper cart on, I think, the second portage, so entering the third lake. I almost sank the boat. So very beginning of the trip, it was fairly inconvenient. Luckily I had a roll of duct tape and a tube of goop sealant, so I was able to limp the boat from lake to lake and get through the trip. It was disturbing. There's nothing like opening your hatch to see an inch or 2 inches of water every time and wondering, well, can I make it to the next portage? So routinely, we would be paddling along. I didn't have my bait holder in there, and this bump, which I do believe most of these Outbacks have, because it's just where the excess plastic seems to collect in the mold when these things come out of the oven. That bump was actually a gauge for me. Whoops, you guys can't see because I moved the camera. That bump right there was kind of a gauge as a level to see how much water I had in the hull. So if it was higher than the bump, I knew I had about an inch of water in the hull, and it was time to find a spot to pull over, tip the kayak up, dump the water out, and clean her out before I went to the next place, so that I knew I wasn't taking on water too fast. It was usually a couple hours between spots where I could stop. So that's the story of what happened and how I survived it. Now on to the next thing. I did contact my dealer. They are working on getting me a hull. It's going to be a 2020 boat. Right now it's June. I don't have a timeline on when they're going to be getting their hulls. So we're in northern Alberta. It's going to be a long time. Well, it could be a long time. Hobie was shut down for a while because their manufacturing facility was shut down in California because of COVID, and they only opened up the other week. So I've got to start school here in a couple weeks in the US, hopefully, knock on wood. You guys can't see that, but I'm knocking my own head. To make sure, hopefully everything's going to be run like it should, and I can get down to the States and go to school. So I don't have a bunch of money to throw at a new boat right now. So I already put a deposit down back in September, but I still don't have a boat to replace this one. So one way or the other, I figure it's June, I want to do some fishing. There's the other boat right there. It's on the trailer, ready to rock and roll. It's a 2016 LE, so 2 Outbacks. I want to see if I can fix this. So the plan that I came up with is I went on Amazon, and sorry, I'm not putting the camera at the right place. There we go. So this hatch, I got it on Amazon, and my plan is it fits pretty flush where this round spot is. So this is all flat, or relatively flat. So I want the edge of this guy to make good contact with the floor of this. So I didn't go with a wider hatch, which would extend over into the edges where these troughs are. I want trying to keep everything within the sides of this flat area, so that I have a good connection, good mechanical connection, and a good place for the sealant that I'm going to use to seal this guy up. That will let me get in here underneath to try and repair the areas on this guy. And I'm going to use some stuff. Let me do a cut here, and then I will show you guys the stuff I'm going to use. And yeah, hang on one second. All right, guys. Kayak Fishing Carl, back with you again. So, did a little cut there. Haha, see what I did there? Literally and figuratively. So, scary part done. Big hole in my kayak. This guy fits really snug. And when I'm done with this, I'm going to use a screw with a nut on the back, or a bolt and a nut, I guess you could say, but this is gonna have a tapered shoulder. I guess I consider it kind of like a screw. And that will hold this guy nice and tight to the hull. I'm also gonna add some sealant to the inside to try and keep water from being able to get in there. And the lid has an O-ring. I don't plan on using this all that often, so the lid, once it may even get some sealant on the threads as it goes in there. So the whole reason I'm adding this hatch is just so I can get into this area to be able to work. And now that I have cut that hole, you can see, let's see if it lets me see. Yeah, we can see it real good. There's the crack that is on the back of my hull. So on the back side of the scupper hole, the reinforcement. So big crack, runs top to bottom. You can see daylight coming at the bottom. That's how my water was getting in and just about filled my hull on me when I was out on the water. So that was pretty scary. It wasn't much fun. It kind of put the fear into me for that whole trip, like 7 days of thinking I might drown in my boat if it fills up with water, or if the duct tape that was on the bottom of the hull wasn't holding. So made for a much scarier trip, but I'm hoping to fix this right now. So I can get at that. I can see the crack. Here's my plan. Got in there with a set of calipers, kind of measured it. Seems to be about 2 inches. I have already some of this 2-inch white, I don't know if it's PVC or ABS, pipe, kicking around. I cut a 3-inch tall section and I split it top to bottom so I can slip it on over that piece. I'm also gonna add some mechanical strength to that with a couple of hose clamps. So before this stuff all goes on, I'm gonna fill up the big crack with this West System epoxy, this plastic bowl repair kit, and I'll have it kind of overfill that crack, and then when this guy goes on and everything gets tightened up, it will hopefully force a little bit of it out and make for a really strong repair. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and get sticky, and I'm gonna need to wear gloves and make a giant mess. I don't wanna be touching my phone for that. So you guys, I might shoot a quick one when I'm done to show you what it looks like inside there. And I got the hatch all in, and then I'll test it on the water this weekend. And yeah, hopefully that's that. Hopefully this boat is back in action with this repair. And if not, can still get I've got a hull coming kind of on Goodwill warranty-ish. And then if not, I've still got this hatch, and I'll be able to, the other side, the right side is not cracked at all. I don't see any damage on the right side, but if it does crack, I have the ability to get in there and do this repair. So, I didn't add this because I wanted to, I added out of necessity. I didn't see any other way to repair these cracks without getting through that back area somehow. So I will I'll get this all done up and post it and whatnot, and then I might do an update maybe in a month, let you guys know how well it holds water and how well the repairs hold up. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so here's my wrap up sequence. Got the hatch in there. Lots of marine goop around the hatch, and I used 1-inch long bolts with nuts on the back, so it's bolted through the hull and a nut on the back to hold it really nice and stiff. I think this guy's pretty good. I'm not too worried about water getting in through here. Might be a little bit through the hatch, through the top of the cap. There is an O-ring. I don't think it's gonna let much water in. If it does, and if it is a problem, I will just use some sealant on it as well. You can see my repair. Sorry about that. You see my repair in there. There's my plastic, so the 2-inch white pipe. I'm not sure if it's ABS or another type of plastic. And the hose clamps. You can see the hose clamps on there. Sorry for the dark. Oops, my finger over the camera, why don't you? Hose clamps, holding everything tight. Packed that guy really well with the resin, the 2-part resin there from the West Marine kit, and didn't have to add a whole lot. It should be structurally pretty sound, and I'm pretty sure I filled it in all around the bottom. I also did fill in around the gap at the very top and bottom where the black plastic inserts meet the hull. And while I was doing this, since it was the kayak was on the bench, I took the time to put the landing gear on this guy. So the reason I went with the landing gear is this actually, I feel, kind of came about because I was using the Hobie scupper cart, and I didn't want to have this problem again. I didn't want to have to do this kind of repair again. So with the landing gear, I'm pretty confident that this won't be a problem again. I won't have as much stress in that area. So as long as I got that crack filled sufficiently, I don't think I'll have to worry about this anymore. So just gotta throw my my Hobie box back on there. What the heck do you call this thing? The crate, H crate. The Hobie H crate that I made some side covers for. Just hold my tools and stuff. I got a retractor on there, right side, and yeah, unfortunately, I think my biggest problem was that I spent the nicest day of the weekend putting this all together. So now I gotta wait for a chance to get this guy out in the water. I'm gonna throw it up onto the trailer there and keep the trailer run. I only had it down the road one time, and that was with boats on it. I just finished getting that on the road and insured and registered. So now I gotta get these guys in the water, make sure they're good, they're both good, not taking any water, and then knock on wood, I'll be doing some traveling and a little bit of fishing. So thanks guys, this has become a really long video. I'm sure by the time I piece them all together and do my little edits, and yeah, hopefully if anybody else out there has had a kayak where they damaged the hull in the scupper areas, hopefully this is a viable cure. So I'll let you guys go with that from the darkest reaches of northern Alberta, saying keep your line in the water. Thanks guys, talk to you later.